wonderful organization.
Alrighty. If you're hearing my voice, that means it's the fourth Friday of the month and it's 4 p.m. Welcome to the What Now broadcast. I am your host, Eric Kennedy, and today we are here because I believe that there's organizations in our community that have been around for a long time, but people still don't know about them. So here at the What Now podcast, we like to share that information. And today we have two amazing organizations who I've worked with in the past. I'm a member of UCB, and I've done work with ABCD, and I've used some of their services. And so we're going to have them come on and introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about their organization before we have our conversation. So we'll start with Siobhan.
Hi, Eric. I'm nervous. Hi, everybody. My name is Siobhan Harrington. I am from Mattapan. I'm also a UCB member, 5 years strong. Hey. But right now, I am also the Director of Partnerships since February. I love my job. Union Capital Boston is a community networking group. It's also an incentive networking group. We believe in rewarding you for your time, for going out and doing the great things you already do in your community. If you go to your child's student-teacher conference, we want to reward you. If you're going to your Zoom classes every day, we want to reward you. If you're going for a walk in your community or you're taking groceries out your neighbor's car, we want to reward you. We reward you up to $500 a year. Tax-free money, anyone aged from 14 all the way up. We do not worry about how much you make. We do not worry about where you came from. We worry about what you do in your community. And if you're worried about, I don't know what's going on in the community, come on in Union Capital Boston. We have a whole calendar that tells you what's going on and around the city of Boston, the great things. We can help you fix your credit, get a home, jobs, connect you with great people like Union Capital, that is us, with ABCD. Connect you with ABCD, with Ryan and his great work that they do at ABCD. And I would love to go on after Ryan to tell you about Union Capital Boston. And if anyone's listening to my scratchy voice, please call in if you're a Union Capital member and you would like to tell the city about all the great things Union Capital Boston has given to you or done for you, or how happy you are just to be a member. The number to call in is 617-282-0685. Thank you.
Very well said. Ryan?
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here and be able to talk about ABCD. Quickly introduce myself. My name is Ryan Brennan. I've been living in the city of Boston for about 10 years now, almost 11, out in South Boston. I moved here right after college to get my master's at Suffolk, and moved up from Martha's Vineyard, so it was a small little beach-like style of life, so moving into a big city was definitely a nice change for me, and I've fallen in love with Boston. And I've been working at ABCD now for going on 6 years, and I'm now the program manager for our out-of-school youth programs, which helps work with 16 to 24-year-olds working in, living in poverty, living in a low-income style of life, while also dealing with other types of barriers such as homelessness, educational issues, IEP, justice involvement is a heavy one that we're working with right now, and those are the big ones that we're really trying to reach out with and support the most with my programs. But ABCD, we've been around since since '62. SummerWorks has been around for more than 50 years.
Right.
If you haven't heard about ABCD yet, you must just be new. And we welcome you here. So we welcome you to the Boston community and definitely get to know us. Over this past year, we've been dealing with COVID. Everybody has in the city. It's shut down a lot of things. But through that, ABCD's really still been able to support the community to the best of its ability. Over this past year, in 2021, we served 88,530 low-income individuals, which represented 78,887 households. So ABCD is not just the summer programs and the youth programs, which is what I'll be highlighting most. So I just wanted to quickly run through different things that we're able to offer, which will be early childhood education and care, education and career development for adults, energy assistance, food security, health services, holiday joys, immigration services, youth programs, housing, You name it, we have it, and if we don't have it, we'll connect you with somebody that does have it. That's a beautiful thing about ABCD and the fact that we've been around for so long. We've been able to make these great partnerships, such as one with UCB. So if we're not able to help you, you can rest assured that we will make sure that we find a way to support you. We're making sure that we support everybody in the Boston area and recently out into the Malden and Everett area as well. We moved out there in 2015, so we're starting to expand our reach and where it is that we'll be able to support. So I definitely really look forward to talking more about ABCD, but I'm passionate about our programs. That is really where I want to get it. I want everybody signing up at summerworks.net, getting a job this summer. Parents, we will try to support you with getting your kids out of the house this year. I know that's probably something everybody's looking to do.
Right.
This is there's no better reason to get out of the house than to make some money, learn some career goals, and really just kind of start building out your resume and your future. That's really what we're looking to do over the summer.
Great. So you just heard the introduction of two great organizations, and so why don't you continue with UCB and how people can get involved?
No worries. Ryan put me to shame. I didn't come with the speaking points and everything. So, thank you for making me a rookie on TV, Ryan.
We're here to support each other. I should have brought some numbers for you, too, just in case.
I know, that's right. We gave some money away to y'all. But no, honestly, to become a UCB member, you just click onto our bit.ly link, which is bit.ly/U, capital C, capital B, lowercase join. You can also just send me an email. I definitely will put it out there later on before we go. And you can definitely be a UCB member. U in Capital Boston has been around not as long as ABCD, but we've been around for going on, I want to say 8 years. It started out actually in the closet at an ABCD in Heath Street. Yes.
Awesome. Okay.
Eric Leslie, the founder of U in Capital Boston. Yes.
Eric, he's not been with us for a while, but I met him a while back. Great man.
Yeah, and he started out, the first member signed up in a little bitty closet room space at the ABCD office in Heath Street. So again, ABCD was like the soil that helped grow Union Capital Boston. So
say that again.
ABCD was the soil. Ryan did that. No.
I love
So we have a caller on the line who wants to call in and show some love to UCB. Caller, go right ahead.
Hi, is this me? It's Judy Davis. All right.
Yes,
All right.
Hey,
Happy
Judy.
spring, everybody.
Hi, Judy. How are you?
Love you.
Love you too.
And love UCB. So, UCB, because it is a program of rewarding activities, you may have somebody that comes in because they say, I want some rewards for me. So you may come in because of what you're going to get, and you can let people know that. And then you will see that as it goes along, with the encouragement and with the family that develops, they're going to want to be able to step up and do more, do better. It's not going to just be for the accolades. It's not just going to be for the rewards. It's what I call, like the Sermon on the Mount, coming for the fish sandwich and getting the blessing. So I have actually been able to start a couple of groups.
Yes.
One of them is an addiction and recovery support group, which is very important. We have been making an impact, and what my intention is to have people who come in as members to, at some point, hopefully sooner than later, become leaders and become the ones to take on the responsibilities, that want to start the groups, that want to step up and start teaching other people how to step up.
Yes, right.
So this is each one teach one. This is us straightening each other's crowns.
Mm-hmm.
We have done some amazing work, and we have awesome, incredible seniors who have come together and have formed a group called Seniors in Power and Purpose. So remember that name. Seniors in Power and Purpose. And you're going to be able to say, wow, I heard that when they were first really getting together. And now look at them. They're world renowned. And I am familiar with them.
That's right.
And that's right. And you can be able to support us.
Awesome.
So we do need support now. We're going to be big. You're going to be hearing about us. You're going to want to be associated with us. Siobhan, I love you.
I love you too.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you. But Judy, before you go,
you are inspirational. You are inspiring, as most of the UCB folks are.
Thank you.
We have people who are highly educated. We have people who don't even have a GED.
I would say this.
They're all inspiring.
Judy, I would say this. Hold on, Judy. Before I would say this about Miss Judy Davis. Judy Davis is the 6th founding member of Union Capital Boston.
Okay.
She's our 6th founding member. She's one of our
I was 12, but, go ahead.
No, you're 6. That was the trivia question. And she has been pivotal of just showing what Union Capital Boston can do outside of just giving you a gift card for being your great normal self. We give you a platform. If you feel that there's something in your heart that you really want to do or start, it could be a book club, or in Judy's case, addiction recovery. She saw that need during COVID, and she asked, I need a spot. Union Capital Boston said, we give you a spot. Here's your platform. And she's grown it, and now it's the Senior Empower and Purpose. And before Miss Judy Davis go, I will say, in her words, I'm going to steal it for you for a minute, Judy. In Union Capital words, without the lovely, lovely citizens of Boston, there will be no us.
Right.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you,
You're
Judy.
welcome. Okay, and so I'm not going to take up the whole show because I can make this the Judy show if you want. But I won't do that.
No, Judy, you can't do that.
One of the things that with the seniors, we want to be able to leave a legacy. And UCB has been the platform to make that possible. So without UCB, there would be no seniors. And just so you know, without us, there would be no you.
Right. Exactly.
So hold your seniors in high esteem. Support us in every way that you can. And remember, UCB is an awesome, amazing platform that without this platform, there would be just a sort of a void. So we have it. Let's take advantage of it. And let's just keep up the good work. Let's just keep uplifting each other, pushing each other forward. Thank you, Eric.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Thank you for calling in.
Okay. I love you guys. And God bless.
God bless you.
Bye,
Thank you
Judy.
for calling in. Wow, let me tell you, the passion there, that's it. If she just shares just her energy alone,
She
I think
does.
that's enough.
Oh, she does.
That right there would already be enough. So,
She does.
Thank you for calling. That was
Thank you,
awesome.
Judy. Thank you. But that just shows that how much that when it's not just a networking group. It's not just a group people just come together. No, we believe in helping you grow. So we have credit counseling. We have financial classes. I take them financial classes. I can get my credit up. And we have classes for youth. We started a program at the Burke where there was students that were, having trouble with grades, not coming in, and we have a partnership with Boston Public Schools, and we said, well, let's try something. Let's make these students UCB members, but in a different way. Let's give them points for coming to school every day, grading up their grades, joining the after-school curriculum. We have over 300. Oh, I got real ghetto there. 300. 300.
So you can take the out of the.
But over 300 students that are Union Capital Boston members, that each student has, raised to themselves, earned themselves. Last time I checked, about $250 just by going to school every day. A teacher can say, Ryan did good. He's brought up his thing. I want to dominate, have a bonus points. They can do that, and it's a gift card. These kids get in their name. Right. That they can do whatever they want, like any other member, and these kids actually enjoy coming to school now. Right. They come every day. It's like, wow. So now, I'm pushing to get that in high school.
Well, it's lovely hearing that, though, because you're speaking about the schools and keeping kids in school and making sure that they're graduating, giving them those keys. That's really what our Work Smart program is built around. It's the idea that we want to make sure that kids can work after school, but in a way where it doesn't take away from their education. Where we're there to support, we have tutoring sessions, paid tutoring sessions as part of it. So in our Work Smart program, this past year, even during COVID, we were still able to get 120 youth through our programs where they get to work 10 hours a week, with one day being workshops where they get training, they get to work on financial literacy, they get to work on learning how to create a resume or just communicate better in a workspace. And then one day specifically there where we have volunteers that tutor, so that they have any questions. If they don't want help, they can do it themselves, but they got to be doing their homework, right? You got to be doing your homework for those 2 hours.
Yes.
And that's one of my favorite parts about it. You're literally getting paid to do the work you're going to have to do anyways.
Right.
Exactly.
And then we have great partnerships all across the city. We've been working closely with the YMCA, Boys and Girls Clubs, and other great community organizations that have been housing and working our youth for the other 2 hours, 4 days out of the week. And it's incredible. All 120 youth last year have stayed in school or graduated or moved on. So it's something that I think is super important, and I want to continue to see this Work Smart program really build. I don't know if it's a lack of knowledge, but I think that this is probably the program that our kids know the least about with ABCD.
Yeah.
And definitely one that we want to see kind of start to grow out some more. The best part about it is all the kids that finish the Work Smart program, they get that guaranteed job over the summer with us.
Yes.
So they don't have to worry about the lottery. They don't have to worry about how many applications come through. They already did the work. So then that's what we're going to be able to provide again in the summer.
Right.
So that's just continuation. We want to have these kids with us, all the way through from start to end.
Exactly.
When's the deadline to apply for the Summer Works?
So the Summer Works, there's not a full deadline, but we are going to be pulling our lotteries earlier this year. So we are trying to advocate for everybody to get their applications started and completed by that first week of May.
Okay.
If you don't, as long as you've started your application by May 21st, you'll be able to still continue to bring in your documents, work on it. Maybe we get some extra job openings towards the end of the summer, and we can still support that way. But jobs start July 5th, and we want to start getting people in. Those work permits can be a little tough to get sometimes. So we're thinking, if we can get these orientations done earlier, while they're still in school, it's much easier to obtain that Work Smart from your counselor or somebody at the school itself versus having to go, to the re-engagement center or something, or the Tobin, to get it for the summer. So let's travel.
So I also want to let people know that Boston Praise Radio is going to be starting up the Broadcast Academy, and we are going to be a work site. So if you want to spend your summer learning how to do radio, do TV, interview, edit, film, and get paid to do that, sign up with us and with SummerWorks.
Yeah, you go to summerworks.net, or you can give us a call at 617-348-6548 with any questions. We can help support with that applications. I mean, this place is really sweet. So if you want to be able to get to work here, I mean, not only will you be having fun in this job, you can also make up to $1,700 over the summer while doing something that's going to be really entertaining.
And it's July and August, right?
Yeah, and it's just July and August. So $1,700.
And it's right here. Put it in the bank. And it's right. And Ryan got on me, y'all. I was telling him I need to finish my child. He's like, finish the application. So I'm one of those parents that needs to finish the application.
It can seem sometimes overwhelming. I know, we get a lot of the same questions. There's a lot of documents that get collected. But in the end, the reason why we have to do all that is just because we want to make sure that we're able to fund you. So the more stuff we can get, the easier it is to find out how it is that we're going to pay you over the summer. So might seem a little overwhelming, but work with us. That's how we're getting the money back into your hands.
Right. If we don't use it, you don't get the money for it next year. So we gotta use it. So I would love to invite you to Union Capital to our network night. We have them in Spanish and English. Spanish every week, And I'm sorry, that is a lie. Lyman Church, y'all. Sorry, Jesus. We have English every week. I'm still lying. English every week and Spanish every 2 weeks.
Okay.
But I would love to invite you and someone who can speak. I don't know if you're bilingual, also can speak Spanish.
I used to be able to speak Spanish. I'm very, very, very minimal. My best friend's from Uruguay, so I grew up, his mom didn't speak English very well, so I spoke a lot of Spanish when I was in high school. When he moved away, I just totally lost it. And now I just have no trust. I'll try to answer the phone sometimes when I'm talking in Spanish, and I'm like, what did I just say?
So definitely come. I would definitely like to invite you to do our table talks at our network night to, give that information to the community, to the masses who don't know, all the procrastinating parents that need the little boot kicked, to get the ball rolling. That I would love to invite you to that. We have the platform.
Yes.
Definitely
the
come.
networking nights are awesome because there's upwards to 200 people on there at one time on the Zoom, and it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's all love though.
Of course. And it's so fun, those types of events too, no matter how many times you've spoken with the same group of people, there's always, you never know when it's going to connect, or when like you said the same thing to this person for like the past 10 times you've met with them, then all of a sudden this time you meet, it's like, wait a second, boom, and now the connections are there, and now all of a sudden you're doing something, it all kind of clicks. So the more you can get together, the better.
Exactly. So I definitely welcome you to come, and I will definitely, we're going to email each other after this, y'all. But to come and just definitely share that information. My live here is like, we need, what's the links, what's the information? So they definitely need to. We definitely want to
tell those people to call in.
Yes, and you can call in too, guys. If you're on the Facebook Live and you're in Capital Live and you're looking at my lovely friend here. Looks like we're getting a little happy, y'all. But call in. The number is pinned to the live, and you can even talk to Ryan.
Again, you're listening to the What Now broadcast. I'm your host, Eric Kennedy. You can call in. This is a live interactive broadcast, so call in 617-282-0685. That's 617-282-0685. Call in and speak to either one of our guests about Union Capital Boston or ABCD. Since you guys are moving or growing, because Action Boston community. So how does that change?
I don't think we're going to change. I think ABCD is too fun. It's too well known. I think we'll just continue that. We look at those areas as being an extension of Boston. Right. It's a greater Boston. Maybe we'll add a G in there. Right. No, I think that we just we see the needs of those of the community out there very similar to what the needs are here, and since we've been able to do such good work.
And with gentrification, most of those neighborhoods are becoming Boston.
They're Boston families.
Exactly.
That's exactly what we're seeing. And there's so many Boston families that are moving out into those areas. Right. And it's really like when you say Greater Boston, they are a Boston
exactly.
community. They're not living in technically the city. Right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Boston is more outside of. Boston has like a muffin top. Like we done spread into the other communities. Our jeans got too big, and we're just kind of too small, and we're like spreading over to the other communities. So it's no longer, now because when I born and raised here, and you hear Greater Boston, it's like, what do you mean Greater Boston? I always thought it was like a tone, like like a Greater Boston. You're like, I'm in Roxbury, I'm in the Greater Boston area, we're Greater Boston. Until I got older and some common sense in my brain, I realized what Greater Boston was. But now it's like it's no longer a foreign place anymore. Mm-hmm. There's no, like, Greater Boston is slowly becoming more of like Boston, because Boston is just, and in great places like ABCD are like, listen, we need to go over that little line because the families need us.
Very true.
Ryan, I have a question on social media. You mentioned something about helping kids who are homeless. Can you please explain more about that?
Yeah, definitely. So I know that our programs, the ones that I'm running specifically in the out-of-school youth programs, Career Explorations, and in that program, we are really trying to focus in on people that have an extra barrier. Not just your standard everyday life, but what is that one extra thing that we can try to help overcome? Homelessness is a big one that we've seen. I think that this year I had 20 kids in my group. I think almost half of them were homeless or housing insecure. And so it's definitely something that we're trying to make a big focus on. We don't have our own housing in-house, But we have a great team that has worked with a lot of the shelters that can make those proper referrals and really try to help stabilize. And through the work that we do, helping kind of build out what that career track might be, stabilize you through employment and career readiness, we see that that's going to be a long-term kind of future, and that's where stability really is. There's also a lot of other great organizations that do work specifically with homeless youth that ABCD has been able to connect with and partner with. There's a new one that I've been working with recently. I just had 2 of my kids graduate their little job readiness there after they've gone through some of our stuff. It's called Break Time, and they do great work as well. So I think that that's one thing when it comes to really going after homelessness and trying to help with the stability. It's a group effort. It's not something that I think either really one place can ever really achieve. So if all these other organizations, ABCD, we got to connect with everybody else, and we got to be talking. A lot of the young people that we work with, and we see that are homeless, there's a lot of hands in the pot. There's a lot of people that are touching their lives, but they're not connected together.
Right.
And getting that cohesion together and creating that network to help support that youth, where you can have one hand on, one hand off, but they're still supporting. I think that's the goal. And through these summer works programs, through the Work Smart program, through my programs, Hopes, and Career Explorations, we kind of set that standard of stability there. So that's where we're really able to help support the most.
Cool. Awesome. So with both of your organizations still active even during COVID, and knowing that a lot of the tension that's going on with race and the whole cop thing and stuff, how have you guys addressed that as an organization to, whether it's the youth or have anyone had table talks about it or discussed it, or with the youth? And Siobhan, I'll have you go first, if you don't mind.
Yeah, when COVID first hit, and all that was happening with the police brutality and the rioting and things of that nature, Union Capital Boston gave a place, even though it was on Zoom, but for us to come together and just talk about how we were feeling, how this was making us feel, what was really, for that night. It was one of our first table talks. Our network nights, we didn't have any table talks scheduled. We decided to cancel. They canceled them and gave that space for the members just to talk. Because, you're going through everything shutting down. You're losing income. These kids are home. You're stressed out. And then you turn on your TV and people are burning everything. They're rioting. You're like, what? Is this truly the end of the world? Like, what is happening? In Union Capital Boston, we said we just need a place to talk. We just need a place for people to come and just express their feelings, and that's exactly what we gave that space to, and we've continued to give that space to our members, where they can come and just say, we need to talk about what's going on when it comes to things, when it comes to injustice, regardless if it's against our kids in Boston schools, regarding when it comes to vaccinations and masks and COVID and anything like that. We bring both parties, both sides to the table, chance to discuss, but we also give a safe space for our members to express exactly how they're feeling. And one of our things that we definitely have we don't judge what you say.
Right.
Meaning that you can say, well, I myself, I have been out of the welfare system, but honestly, I said, I miss my welfare because the food is expensive, and there's no judgment of saying, well, she should be grateful that it is. We all know the struggle is real,
right.
Regardless of what's in your pocket or your account. Them eggs too cost $5. It's expensive, and we give our members that place to laugh, cry, talk. I've held table talks and held meetings, period, just a space to say, come as you is. If a F-bomb slips out your mouth, that's, in my space, that's what you're feeling.
Right.
Then that's what you're feeling. You're not directing that F-bomb towards somebody. Right. You're expressing what you're going through. And we need that space to give people to express it, because if not, then we're going to be out there riding the doggone streets. So we need we need that space, and we continue to give that space. We continue to give resources so that way, like we shall, like now I know Ryan does all this great work, and I do know members and families that are going through, youth that are going through what you help with, and we continue to build those relationships. That's what UCB is all about. It's not just come to us and we have all the answers. We are the road sign to point you to where you need to go. We can help you along the way, hold your hand, give you a little bit of food and water, go about your business, but we're here to point you in the right way, because we all need that direction and a place where to go, and a resource. Ain't no one ever said they never use a resource. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
How about you, Ryan?
Yeah, and ABCD's been really doing a good job of keeping that racial equity lens. Over the past year and a half, we've even created inside the organization different subcommittees, specifically to make sure that we have a focus on racial equity and diversity, and what it is that we can do as an organization internally, and how it is that we can help out in the community. The subcommittee that I decided to join is really about networking into the community. So we're trying to figure out what is it that ABCD can offer to other maybe smaller community organizations, and what is it that we can do that will help kind of create spaces where we can have these kinds of conversations that feel safe, that feel accepting. And I think that's one of the big things with ABCD is we have a lot of places. So being able to offer a space, or to figure out how it is that we can organize space and be there to support what the actual inside of those communities mean. And the big thing for us is we know that there's a difference. Boston as a whole, we can have that conversation, but each community itself is different and unique in Boston, and that's what makes Boston such an amazing place. Roxbury is a different place than Dorchester. Jamaica Plain's a different place than South Boston.
Right.
And each little neighborhood, they have different things that they need to be focused on, and that's what's great about it. Us is we have buildings, we have locations in every community to make sure that we're focusing on that. For the youth this past year, when the murder of George Floyd happened, we had mentor groups set up, and it was something that we thought was very important to allow the kids to have that space to kind of talk about that. We have a great working relationship with the Boston Police Department as well. We have a teen academy that we run our kids through, and there's some great officers who have been amazing mentors. Actually, I just saw a young kid that I used to mentor a few years ago, went through our program, and where we were trying to help inner city kids become police officers or firefighters, so that we can kind of start making that change and what that looks like. If you've lived in this community your whole life, you're going to police it differently than somebody who hasn't.
Exactly.
And, he just got accepted into the police academy. He did the cadet program, and he is an amazing young man.
All right.
Shout out to Jalen.
All right, Jalen, go ahead now.
And another one of the youth too, Eric. There's two of them that were in the same mentor group, and they really picked each other up. And I think that's where it starts. It's understanding that there's a lot more. The conversation's more nuanced than simply no or yes.
Right.
And I think that it starts with what it is that we're willing to kind of put in. And I think having those conversations, it was great having those mentor groups. It was great having a police officer come in and talk to kids, even if the kids didn't like the police, didn't want to talk to police, but seeing that there's a human side of everything. And I think putting that lens on it allows you to maybe even vent your feelings out to a police officer, while also having the space to really be able to change your own viewpoints.
Exactly. I like that, because you can't. In my mind, again, like I told you outside, my mind's always turning, and it's like if you want change, it starts with you, and you see the vision. You think the police is a bad thing, and the police don't do right, then become a cop.
Right.
And erase that stigma.
Become the change.
Become the change.
Be the change that you want to see.
Exactly. Erase the stigma about a police officer and what a police officer look. If you think a police officer is bad and it should look a certain way, then be a police. And like in your neighborhood, and you can basically change your neighborhood. And that little kid who saw you doing it, keep the cops in keep your neighborhood, police your neighborhood.
That's what Boston tries to do too. It's a real true community policing. Like the more that we can be in touch with the community, the less it feels like I don't know, like Big Brother, like
Right.
cover them over.
Right.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be supportive, right? So
Exactly.
we just got to make sure that we work together as a community. Police officers, community members, we all need to be able to understand we're looking at other humans. So as long as we're treating each other like human
Right.
beings, things can start changing. As soon as we start seeing people as other or different, that's where we get these issues. But
Exactly.
I think ABCD has done a fantastic job of making sure that we understand that this is a real thing, and trying to allow those spaces where we can have that conversation. I mentioned it's the most diverse workplace I've ever been in my life.
Right.
So I love that too. People from all different backgrounds, and so it's I think because of that, it allows us to be able to have a true conversation about it.
Yeah.
Because it's not just my opinion. I'm a white man who lives in Boston, right? My opinion is going to be a lot different.
Exactly.
Than a black woman living or a black man, and so like that's the more voices we have, the better we're going to be at it.
Yeah, and the more conversations we have.
Exactly. We all say kumbaya at the end, right?
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what I like about UCB and ABCD, the diversity of it. ABCD is a big, huge, nonprofit organization. UCB is a little dot compared to ABCD, and we only have like 5 people, but it's very diverse. Even though it's like one white man, one black woman, but it's still a diverse. Group of people. And Eric recognizes, he was born with the silver spoon, got a gold spoon, a diamond spoon over here when the time is over. So he doesn't project on what we should do and what he listens.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I love about it. Even with ABCD, you guys listen, and you take action to what your communities, each and every community. ABCD in Dorchester doesn't operate or do, or maybe does something a little different than the one down street from my house in Mattapan, because it's the need of the community. And that's what I love about ABCD. And I love the fact that I know we got some connection with you, Ryan. But we still know that ABCD can send us a flyer saying, hey, Summer Works is open, have your people, have your members know that their kids can sign up, and we can post that on our app, and our 3,000 plus members see that and go, we're going to ABCD, so that's getting that, just keep creating that wealth in the family and keep that income, an extra income coming, because these kids are expensive, man.
So I used to live across the street from the ABCD office on Warren Street, and I used to see when they had the food drives that people would go and get the food and then leave the place and walk down the street and start throwing out the stuff that they weren't used to having. Like, if it wasn't culturally, something that they would eat, they would throw it out. And then I noticed that, in food drives, a lot of people weren't coming out as fast as they used to. So I was like, I walked over there. I'm like, okay, why is everybody hanging around? Yeah. They started teaching people how to cook the food that they weren't used to. So I get this whole food drive, and they just put whatever they have available in there, but they weren't, people were like, okay, what do I do with this? What do I do with this? So now they had food demonstrations to show you how to cook the food that was in the actual thing, and people were actually keeping it now. They're like, oh, wow.
Because you want to try it.
Exactly. Yeah. So I love the way that they come up with
they changed the, just instead of just giving somebody a bag, we, especially if you send the one in Warren Street, the way that they have it set up is they'll put all the different types of food out that you could get, and then they'll spread it out, you take what you want. So if there is something that you're not going to use, don't take it.
Exactly.
Don't take it. Somebody else can eat that.
And that was a quick, easy fix, and I think it gives you a little bit more ownership. It feels like you're more grocery shopping than just getting something handed to you. You're going in and you're
the food thing when they were cooking. The cooking demonstrations was awesome because the chef that was cooking was a friend of mine, and she's like, "Wait a minute, you need to come and help me." So I would go over on Thursdays and help her do food demonstrations.
See, that's good.
Because I'm a chef by trade as well, but I haven't done that.
Cooking too.
I love to cook. I actually took I took the ABC cooking class, and like I'm not a stranger in the kitchen, but some of the things that they taught us how to cook, I was like, oh, well, I never thought about doing it this way, or like they was like, we're gonna cook turnip. I have no idea. Don't remember how she did it really, but it was amazing just to see, like, because I wouldn't even know how to prepare. I know it's covered in wax. What do you do with that? Like, she broke it down for us, and it was amazing of all the different things you can do with a turnip. So I love that the fact that different foods are introduced in different communities that we were not experienced or never experienced growing up. Because you can say, if we're not accustomed to it in our culture, I ain't taking that turnip home. I'm gonna do it.
And we're actually we're running a great program right now. Speaking of culinary, it's called Hopes, and it works with 18 to 24-year-olds who have or have ever been justice involved, returning citizens, and it's paired up directly with the Massachusetts Restaurant Association.
Okay.
So we have Corey-friendly locations and people that are really trying to work a second chance employment. So we get to work directly with person-to-person trainings, and we have case managers that will do full wraparound services, help with all the barriers that are going to be surrounding, and then make those connections to restaurants, help kind of work on some of those soft skills with you, connect you with trainings if you want to go and become a chef or by trade, or if you're just looking to get a job real quick.
Right.
They're hiring really heavy right now, and
Yes.
restaurants and really need people.
Yes.
So that's one of those fields where it's there's, if you're not sure what you want to do, or if you're just looking to kind of start working, start building a career, the opportunities are endless right now, because they're asking for people to help.
Right, exactly.
They're really begging for people to come work in
they want to
restaurants.
train you up. They want you to succeed because they can't afford to have you to leave. So it's never been a more inviting time to try out a field that can be pretty stressful at times. So I think that's an amazing thing. We have culinary training as well with our career explorations program, which will be continuing our relationship with the Restaurant Association with as well, and some great organizations that are out there that do culinary as well. But it's definitely something that we've seen is a field that we should explore more.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We just did a great community tour over at Crossy, which is a restaurant over on Gloucester Street, right in like Newberry Street area. It's a Greek restaurant, and the chef's a local guy. His name's Valentine, and he went to Madison Park, graduated from there. The owners from Roxbury, her name's Kayla. They met each other like years ago, and then randomly, divine intervention, met each other again. When she was buying and starting a restaurant, she needed a chef.
Right.
So he came on. And now he's cooking Greek food. He's like, I gotta be cooking Greek food.
I love Greek food.
I love Greek food. I do too.
I love Greek food too. Let me tell you, the food was amazing. But we had our kids from our program go. That he did a little demonstration. She talked about what it's like being an owner, and they talked about what the need is for diversity in kitchens, and that there's not enough of that in the city. And so the more we're kind of seeing that, and if we kind of build these programs out, if we start having people start trainings when they're younger, we'll kind of be able to start making that diversity change, which is what we talked about earlier. And that was the one thing that both Kayla and Valentine harped on. They were like, this is amazing to see black and brown kids in my kitchen right now talking about how they're interested.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
I want to help you. I want to support you to do something like this.
Awesome.
So that's one of the things that I think if you're interested in anything like that, definitely reach out to us at ABCD. You can call us at 617-348-6548 for those youth programs. If you have questions about ABCD in its whole, give us a call or email us at abcdconnect@bostonabcd.org.
Excellent.
So we can connect with all of our programs. We're going to be looking for volunteers pretty soon. We have an amazing opportunity that we do every year. It's called Field of Dreams. So we get donations. People get to play a round of softball at Fenway. And so we always like to have, and we need to have volunteers at that. So if you are interested in that, we are going to be looking for those. And you can email or actually go online at bostonabcd.org/get-involved, and you'll be able to sign up, volunteer. If for anything, it gets you free access to get onto Fenway.
Yeah, exactly. Let me take that email down real quick. I'm gonna send that.
I remember the first year I did it. I mean, I was gushing. I am the biggest Red Sox fan. I've been a baseball fan my whole life. I dressed up in my best suit. I stood in the dugout. I got a picture like I was the manager. This is my pride and joy.
Your dream job if you dream it.
I tell you, it's volunteering, but it's volunteering in Fenway.
Right.
Send me that information because we can put it on our app.
Definitely.
And believe me, you would not get no short of hands.
That's great. We'll need it.
So I want to jump to another topic. So this past mayoral race, we had the worst turnout in voter, for voting. And so, how are you guys, in your perspective, especially with the youth, and getting them excited about civics, and with people who were just burnt out, especially with the UCB members? How are you guys addressing that with your separate organizations?
Go ahead, Ryan. I always go first.
I know for me, I think that being engaged is unbelievably important. It's a highlight. I'm as soon as the kids are into our programs, it's one of the first things I ask. Are you registered yourself to vote yet? You can do it before you turn 18. That way you're already registered when you turn 18. So it's one thing that we always are saying to our kids. I think you're not really allowed to complain about things if you're not involved in things. It's kind of like the conversation I always have. So it's like, if you want something to be changed, if you want to be able to go and advocate for something, you have to vote. And if you didn't place that vote, then you don't really have a real say right now. So I think it's extremely important to vote. And the city of Boston's great with us, Michelle Wu, signing on and helping us with the Summer Works organization. So we think it's really important for the community to really stay active and engaged, because they are supporting the community. And the better the person is that's there, the more things are going to come down, the more money that we can put into Summer Works, the more kids that we can have work. And I think our goal was around 1,000 youth that we were hoping to put to work this summer. We're looking probably closer to 400 now, just with the way things are. But our goal is 1,000. So the more money we can get, the more kids we can get to work.
Right.
And that happens through voting. And if we vote for the right people, and Michelle Wu's been great with us in the city of Boston and helping us with the Summer Works program and other programs. So it's very important to get out there, stay engaged, ask questions. Doesn't matter who you're voting for, that's your vote. Nobody, we're not going to tell you, I'm not going to lean one way. I'm not even going to let the kids know who I'm voting for.
Right.
I don't think that's right, because they should be able to come up with it themselves. Just simple, look it up, do some reading. Ask questions.
Right.
Ask me. I love this stuff. So whenever I have them in there, I'm like, what do you care about? All right, well, that's what this person does.
Right.
We can connect them with that way. So I think it's extremely important, and we got to get people back in the polls. I don't know if COVID was the reason people just didn't want to go around groups, but we could have mailed in this year still too. So
Right.
It's sad to see that the engagement go down in such an important time, like COVID, like during this COVID time.
Right. I definitely feel you on the youth. As I mentioned earlier, we had a thing going with the Berg, and a lot of the seniors, when they sign up to get vaccinated, they register to vote. They had no idea what that means to register to vote. Like, what does a vote really mean? So listening to you, and I might get out my head, Ryan, because we one of the things I brought up is like, we need to have a youth night. So we have these youth and Up Academy and Cash Academy and Burke. We have these youth that are registered to vote. They have no idea what that vote actually does for your community. And
not to interrupt you, but a lot of people think once they register, that's it. They don't realize they have to actually go and vote.
Exactly. They don't act like, and then they think, I don't know who to vote for, and this and that, and that's important too. But that vote also fixed the pothole outside your house.
Yes.
And that's the part that people don't really. I don't think they either forgotten or just didn't know. But that's one of my things that UCB wants to do, is we want to do a youth rock the vote to actually get to the nitty gritty of civics, exactly what that vote is, and not just the president. That's great, but those are not the ones that really matter for your neighborhood. It's that district and the small little elections, the ones that you need to really be paying attention to. We also have UCB and Capital themselves. We always, every voting, we do a rock the vote where we call our members, everybody. And are you registered? Yes or no? If you're registered, yes. Do you know where to go to vote? We don't tell you who to vote for. We help you get there. If you're not registered, we help you register. We give you points for registering. We can't give you points for voting, but we can give you points for registering. We can get a little bit of encouragement of saying thank you for taking this time. But now that we've done that, we gave you the point. Now that we tell you what to do with it. And that's the part of the puzzle that's missing. And what I like about Union Capital Boston is that we go through everything and see what's missing. And that's a piece that's missing, is civic lessons. We do have one of our partners who does civic lessons, and they show videos and they talk about it within the chat and get that aspect of it. But we want to go a little deep on the other side of it, of like, again, that vote means your pothole is fixed. And in where I live at in Mattapan, the turnout is so low. So low. But as you look at Mattapan, the skyline of Mattapan is changing. And people are complaining. One building, before it was even built, it was already full. So when did that happen? It wasn't advertise to people in the community, you know, and this is like, we need to get our people out to vote, and we need to find where that disconnect is. Is it a language barrier? Is it because someone doesn't look and sound like me, is telling me about it? Let us know so we can partner with organizations that do speak and look like you, and can help you, because we want everybody to have that information. Like I said, you're 18, you want to vote, go vote, yay.
Right.
What does it mean?
Right. Thank you guys very much for being here. Time again has gone by so fast.
I just looked at the time
and
no way.
No,
so I want to encourage you guys, both the organizations, to utilize this station because it is very underutilized.
Okay.
When you have special events and stuff, and if your organization have a few, discretionary pennies you can throw our way, we'll definitely like to partner with you guys on some of the events that you're doing, and broadcast it out, getting out there. We are a nonprofit station, so every penny that we get helps as well. So
exactly, and you're helping the community by bringing us in to the listeners and get it out there. So I definitely appreciate you, Eric, for being vigilant emailing me.
I appreciate it so much letting us come on, and I really hope that people are out there hearing us and will reach out, call our organizations, get the support that's there. If it's not support, get your kids out of the house, get them working, take advantage. This money's here, we want to spend it on you.
Exactly, we got the money. Eric Leslie's out there getting money for us. Spend his money, y'all. Let's spend that money. Right. But you can also reach out to me anytime. I'm available. My email address is Siobhan, SHAV as in Victor, ONNE .Harrington, HERRINGTON @unioncapitalboston.com. Drop me an email if you want to say hi. If you want to learn how to be a member, please just drop it on. I can give you Ryan's information. You can call Ryan after.
I have to say though, if you decide to join and you're listening to this broadcast, when it asks who referred you, put down Eric Kennedy.
Yes, Eric Kennedy. Eric Kennedy referred everybody who's listening right now.
Call us and say, so we heard we got a phone.
We're gonna make Ryan a member too before we leave.
And if you got questions about any of our other programs, make sure that you give us a call to at 617-348-6329. Or again, send us an email at abcdconnect@bostonabcd.org. We can definitely help it out. Like I said, we have a lot of services that a lot of people don't realize how much we do. So if you have a need for anything at all, reach out to us. Ask. If it's something that we don't provide, we'll refer you out somewhere else. And if we start getting a lot of calls from something that we don't provide, we'll probably start providing it.
Hey, you asked, it shall happen.
Let us know.
And Ryan will be coming to Union Capital Boston's Table Talks Network Night. I'm not asking, I'm telling you. But no, just to spread this more, and we can make it a series where ABCD comes back,
Would be great.
in one pick out of service and talk about it.
I've been told I'm a hoot, so I enjoy the events.
So before we end this broadcast, I had a few housekeeping things to do. I wanted to let everyone know about our fundraiser for Boston Praise Radio. We're still looking for items to put in our online silent auction. So if you have a beauty salon, nail salon, massage parlor, bike shop, anything that you can donate to our silent auction, give me a call here at the station at 617-282-0685, or you can email me at bprsilentauction@gmail.com. Our silent auction will be taking place starting May 15th and running through the 31st. As soon as we get all the items and I get them put on the site, I will be sharing the link so you can go and bid on stuff. But again, we are still looking for items to actually put up for bid to raise money for the radio station here. Also, next month, we were supposed to have them last month, but Argos, the dog training company, will be here next month. So if you have a dog that is using the bathroom where they shouldn't be, barking at everyone that walks by, and you have some questions on how to tame that, please tune in next month. We will have Argos training, dog training company here next month. So, again, I want to thank our guests, Siobhan Harrington and Ryan Brennan. Thank you very much for being here.
Thanks again for having us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having us.
You're very welcome. And again, this is Eric Kennedy from What Now Broadcast. Again, without you, there is no me. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next month.
Later.
Later, eyes.